All right. Can you guys all hear me? I'm just working with some new technology here, and we're still working out exactly how to use it. So can you just, if you can hear me, can you just type something so I know you've got me? Can you hear me? Sorry, I got to keep turning away too to see. I got four screens now set up, and I've got the things over here I got to look at over here. So can you hear me? Okay, excellent. You've got me loud and clear. Excellent, thank you. All right, so guys and girls, happy International Women's Day to the ladies and the women out there, boys, the girls, the ladies and the women. They're all the same. They're all very special to us, and it's a big day for them and for all of us to recognise that. And one thing I've noticed in this space, we know through our statistics within our business, but also across the board, it's sort of 5 to 7% of women actually in the crypto and blockchain space. Now, we need to see that increase. I've been sort of saying things and doing things with different groups for basically since we started, because I think it's a really, really easy way for us to grow. I mean, we want market cap to increase, right? We want more money in the market so the market moves and there's more legitimacy there. Well, if half the population is not as involved as the other half of the population, well, the easiest place to get that from is basically go across to the ladies. So get your friends together, girls and boys out there. Tell them what this wonderful space is about. Let's show them respect when they're in our chat rooms, when they're in the Facebook groups. I shouldn't even have said it, when they're in our, because they are for all people. They are for everybody. So just show respect. Be very nice. Post pictures, but make them tasteful. Try not to be too intimidating for these ladies and everybody else to enjoy what is our blockchain and crypto space. So guys and girls, happy International Women's Day. I'm going to do a scan. I'm just going to flick over here and have a look. Excellent. There seems to be a little bit of a lag from when I post, also when I talk, and to when you guys reply. That's okay. No problem at all. So let us have a look here at what is going on. So I'll pop that one up. How good is this new technology here? You can see this here. Excellent. All right. Getting the hang of this. Let's do this. So I'm looking at Bitcoin right now, obviously, and look, it's been a pretty interesting couple of weeks, really. It has been a couple of weeks. We pulled back into this cradle zone that quite a while back. That was a Monday, I believe, as the big move happened on a Sunday. And since then, we've been banging around in here. Not a great deal has happened, but what has happened is we've managed to stay within this cradle zone. Look, it's ugly as hell. It's not pretty right now. I'll just be straight with you. It really is not very pretty. So I'm just checking questions. It's not tradable right now on this daily time frame. But with that being said, what we have got is we've maintained that level. Now, we did start to roll over earlier in the week, and I had said to my members on Market View, which is where I put out my trades and what I'm doing and all that sort of stuff, I was sort of saying, look, we might need to start to look for some shorts. And I'll tell you why. We've been stuck banging around here. We saw a spike down, but that happened in like, a 15-minute window of time. Very, very quick. We saw a spike here, but we didn't see any sustained buying or selling. When I saw this sustained selling, and it held for, this is a 4-hour chart, don't forget, it held down here for a good period of time. It was starting to look like, well, there's a lower high, a lower low. The selling was sustained. It was continued. And basically, from my point of view, it was like, okay, it's not reason to panic yet, but I was open to looking for short trades around that time. Now, as we know, we did move up. What I had said as well was this: the only thing that's going to make it more bullish is if we erase those that sell-off pretty much straight away. Okay, we did see that. Not only did we erase the sell-off, we actually made gains on that sell-off of a few percent as well. So that was really good as far as the sellers just being. It was like the sellers were like go 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 go, and then the buyers went, no, Nelly, we're going to win this one. And we're back up here. The last 2 days, not a great deal. And that's what's interesting to me. Check this out right now. We do have a bit of a level running through here. Now, it's not a level that I'm looking to trade. All right, I'll be straight with you. Why? Well, the 4 hours not really in an uptrend right here. If it pushes above this high, it will be somewhat of an uptrend with this being a higher low, but it's not really what I'm after at this stage. As well as the fact that 4,000 is just ahead of this level. It's about 39.90. We've been toying with 4,000 for a wee while now, with the height getting up around 3,997. this consolidation will generally do one of two things. It's either going to break through and hopefully go, and we'll see a huge surge of buying. That'd be the best outcome for everybody. Or we're going to break fade, or we're just going to roll over. They're really the options that we have got. So yeah, it's really interesting. Hang on, questions, Bitcoin long interval indicators, please. Sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. My apologies there, Randy. I just trade the way I trade, mate. I don't add in anything else. I know what I'm doing with the strategies that I use and the way I read markets for the last 13 years. So I just sort of stick to what I work with, because other indicators to me don't mean anything. Another question: do you look at low cap coins like DGTX? Yeah, I do. I look across the top 100 typically. Nothing more outside of that. Just the liquidity is too low. It's not something that I'm too interested in. Okay, so coming back here, there's resistance here. I want to see it bust through. There's nothing there right now. The rest of the market is also looking quite poised. Again, Ethereum here, it had been selling off consistently over a number of days, whereas Bitcoin didn't have quite the same sort of downward trajectory. We broke the lows of this spike here, whereas on Bitcoin we did not. Here's the same spike just there. We didn't break those lows. Ethereum again right now looking very similar to that of Bitcoin, holding up in and around this area. The reason I'm really pumped to see Bitcoin back where we are here, sorry I forgot to say that before, is that if we can get up, and I know some of you would have heard me say this before, if we can get up above this level, we'll have the second wave or the second higher low in an uptrend on the daily. Now, we haven't seen that since the last bull run. Let me give you an example. Higher low, higher high, pull back in, didn't then set a new higher high. So we didn't see two higher lows. We just sold straight off. Also over here, pretty ugly. Higher low, higher high, tried, and then failed again. So we haven't seen that daily trend have more than one kickoff since inception. The other thing that I'm looking at here, the second hurdle I suggest would be, if we break above this level here, we'll also have a second thing that hasn't happened since the bull run of 2017, which will be a higher low and a higher high on that weekly time frame. Now that higher low and higher high will put the weekly in an uptrend. Doesn't mean it will keep going up. It just means we haven't seen that for a long time. If you recall back here, look, it was bearish for quite some time. Then when the trend did change in the weekly, it wasn't here. It changed here and then it sold off. And then we saw it come through and really change. And that's when we saw the kickoff, between the 200s up to 20,000. Oh, wouldn't it be nice to see something like that happen again? So that's another thing that we haven't seen for a long time. No worries, Randy. So yeah, that's why I'm kind of interested in that. The first hurdle is definitely the 4,000 and then to infinity and beyond. So looking here again at EOS, a bit unfortunate with EOS last week. I had a great trade on. It was actually EOS against Bitcoin, and I'll show it to you in a bit. There was also an opportunity for a cradle here against the dollar. Both actually got stopped out. That's the reality of trading, guys. You can have a great setup. Doesn't mean it's going to be profitable. That's just the way it goes. So that's why you've got to manage your risk and know what you're doing. Then, of course, we saw it sell off, take the stops out, and then we shot straight back up to above 1-to-1 sort of region. It's looking a little bit erratic here on the daily. And if we look at the 4-hour, look, I'd be happy to start looking for trades. But first, I need to see new highs. I need to see, in this case, above $4. I need to see the market kick on. I don't like to trade in these consolidation ranges unless there's a good trend and it's a breakout sort of trade. Look, honestly, Stellar Lumens has been one of the most ugly charts for the last couple of weeks. Just a really pretty messy looking range there. Not interested in that whatsoever. Don't get caught out though. You come down to this 4-hour time frame, you go, ooh, how about that? Check this out. Booyah. We've got some resistance coming in there. Oh, maybe there's a trade there. Well, the problem is with resistance and support levels by themselves, they're not really worth anything. You've got to have a few more things to back that up. So convergence, trend, multiple time frame agreement. Just having a level of support or resistance for a trade, for a breakout, it's really not enough. Not for me anyway. So that's why that, for me, that level, and look, it might break and move. I couldn't give two shits. It's about following your strategy. So Stellar's very, very boring right now. As is Ripple, let's be honest. Look at how horrible this chart is. It's actually been pretty rubbish all year. Really not the nicest of charts to be trading. Big erratic moves and just an absolute, just a cluster in here, right? It's just really, really terrible. Litecoin has been on a run and doing really well, actually. It's been, just checking the questions as it goes. Sorry, guys. I'm glad that the mic sounds great. I thought you were going to say it's the voice behind the microphone, Randy. Coming back to Litecoin here. Sorry, it's Friday. I'm going a little bit off topic. You can see the higher low to higher high here. It's busted through that $50 mark, which is the level that I was kind of keeping a close eye on. And if I come to the 4 hour, look, I have, as you can see this little red flag? I click on that and it goes into my watch list for the day. And the reason I've got it in the watch list is I'm actually stalking a cradle trade. I'd love to see it pull back into this cradle zone and give me a nice little bullish candle. If I get that, you can bet your bottom dollar that I'll be on that with some leverage, because that's the way that I trade. Needs to pull back into maybe this 54, even down to 53-ish would be satisfactory, and it can pull back deeper. I'll just move to the higher time frames. All these trends, sorry, all these time frames are trending. I'm cool with all of them. I'm happy with all of them, but it's got to be 8 hour or above. That's really the play. I'll tell you what, it's great having lots of screens when you're trading. It's not so great when you're doing a live event and you've got stuff all over them. Sorry, I got to keep rubbernecking to show you what I'm looking at. So I'm waiting for a trade. I'm waiting for an opportunity there on Litecoin. And most of trading is, honestly, it's waiting. It really is. Babcock and Brown, but it's not. It's just Bitcoin Cash. Sideways, horrible. The performer of the week, where I've been getting the best trades this year, and the group is Binance. Now, I've just been stopped out of a trade on Binance. Let me show you. This is against dollar tether. The option this week was one of the Bitcoin breakout trade setups that I've got in the courses. You can see here, resistance through here. Nice little stop loss option there. The only thing I'm bummed about is that I couldn't get leverage on this puppy. I didn't take the tether one. I took the one against Bitcoin. If I could have had leverage on this, I'd probably be up about 30, 40 grand this week, which would be really, really nice. But I couldn't because I didn't have leverage. But I still grew my Bitcoin stake by, I think it was 25 or 30%, something ridiculous like that. Breakout. Boom, trail stop to here, trail stop to here, trail stop to here, trail stop to either here or here. You're either in or you're not. I wedged it up into here. And the reason I wedged it up into here is because I was going to bed and I had a lot of profit there. I wanted to lock it in. So right now, there's nothing for me there on Binance. But I tell you what, with the trend the way it is, look at this. I mean, look at how well it's been trading. Watch this. Pull back into the, I talk about this cradle zone, right? You guys know that it's one of the trades that I teach. Back in the cradle, move. Back in the cradle, move. Back in the cradle, move. Look at this one. Back in the cradle, whooshka. Now let me show you something. I'll go to the daily for the Binance Bitcoin chart, because I actually prefer that one. I've been trading it a lot harder. Another one, back in the cradle, really good move. That's actually a textbook cradle trade strategy right there. So we've been getting a lot of really good options. Question, is there an exchange allowing sell orders and stop loss set up at the same coin? You can, but not in the same order, Brandon. So the issue that we've had, Bitfinex did have something like that, but now they've taken it away because I don't know why. It's got to be something, but it's not logic, I'll tell you that much. I have been speaking with some exchanges about that. Some markets, some options that need stops, entry, and targets, so that we can actually be real traders in this market and manage our risk properly. The other coin, the BNB bear market, ETH, okay, and what we got, all-time high on Link. Yeah, it's pumping too. So Tron as well. Let's just, why is that there? Okay, so Tron's pretty ugly, and Bitcoin SV, I couldn't give two hoots about that one. Let's have a look now at the Bitcoin top 10. Obviously, we've seen Bitcoin, Ethereum against Bitcoin's holding in there. Not a great deal going on. The same can be said for Ripple. It's just grinding lower. Bitcoin Cash, very average. Cardano is holding and very average as well. Litecoin, fantastic chart. It's actually a bit more bullish than against the dollar. The trend's extended a bit better, broken out once again. And I'll tell you something, like here was the trade. My first trade of 2019 was this one here. Pulled back into an old level of support and resistance, a 61.8% fib. I got entered, stopped out. Again, great setup. Doesn't mean they all work out for you, right? Some do, some don't. I'm just a little bit bummed it just did this. But look, another pullback into the cradle zone, big move. That's what I'm waiting for right now, guys. I want to see a pullback into these moving averages. I want a cradle setup. Higher low, higher high. Give me that pullback on the 16. Give it to me on the 12. Give it to me on the 8. Like that, but just here. That's why it's got the little tick of approval on the old red little flaggeroo. Waiting patiently for that. Here's the trade of last week where I got stopped out on EOS against Bitcoin. You'll notice back to an old level of support, so resistance, which did become support somewhat. Pulled back into that level, small bullish candle, stop under here, entry here, was going well, boom, bang up. Okay, bugger. That happens. No big deal. There's nothing for me there on it right now on EOS, nor Bitcoin SV. Binance. So I've taken my profit on that little breakout. I've still got a position. So I took the trade first back here. And anyone that follows me closely knows that because I put the trade call out there. Entry above here, stop loss below there, and I've trailed most up from there to there. And my stop is currently where this blue line is. Yes, there is a lot of profit that is still up there, but that's okay. My first target was I think about 8.5 to 1, scaled out there, and the rest I'm letting run. I'm happy to wait for it to pull back. I don't mind. I'm giving it some wiggle room. Be nice to see it pump on up to, you know, I got in about $6.60. It's now about $15.50 or something like that. So I'm happy to sit back and just wait. You know, that's what I'm after. Right now, if I look at this, if I show this to you on the 4 hour, I want to see a deeper pullback now. You know what I mean? Like, here's the little breakout trade from earlier in the week that I took. Entry here, stop loss here, stopped out. I actually got stopped there overnight. So as you can see, a multiple of probably 20 or so with leverage on that trade alone. You know, if I risk $1,000 on that, there's 20 grand in my pocket for a couple of days work. That's the beauty of trading. That's the beauty of leverage. When you know what you're doing and you don't have the downside equivalent every second day. We can't really afford to see that happen. So I'm waiting for a bigger pullback. I'm looking at the 12. I mean, look, it is quite extended. I want to see it pull back into that cradle zone. I want to see a nice trade set up. So a deeper pullback would be very welcome to me, but I've also got a position on with a stop here. So I'm easy either way. I'm not really too concerned about that. Tron's another one right here. Nothing really going on. Now, what I want to show you, I want to jump across here to my watch list. I want to show you a couple of things. One thing to show you is this. Earlier in the week, I think it was 2 days ago, or 2 or 3 days ago, at this point here, I was looking for a long, all right? What I was actually looking for was a Bitcoin breakout trade, and you'll see why. Resistance 1, resistance 2, we were converging throughout that period. I wanted to get a third test for an entry and a stop, and then my move. Now, I talked through with my members that when the candle was here, I was like, look, it looks very similar to what we saw on Binance. So I was like, you know, we saw this bullish candle, it hadn't pulled back as far, and then it popped. And, you know, I do get people, I was saying, look, it does look like it could have a really good move. Now, I get people ask me often in those groups where they say to me, well, if you know, you're more often than not, you're right on that. So why wouldn't you just take the trade? You know, because, you know, I've been doing this for 13 years now. So there are things that I can see coming together. I think that looks like it could move. And I've been saying it for the last year or so on certain times at certain markets. And the thing is that, you know, when it does pop and I'm not in the trade, so I was trying to get a little breakout here, right? Didn't get the setup that I wanted. Why do I not take the trade? Because more often than not, I'm right than I'm wrong, because that's not good trading. You got to stick to your rules. Just because it looks like something's going to happen and just because I'm right, it doesn't mean that it's the right thing to react to that. You got to stick to your rules at all times. Otherwise, you know, it's going to come back and bite you on the backside. There's no doubt about it. Steam's still on my list, guys. The 4 hour pulling back into that cradle zone. That's what I'm after here. Nice trend. Now give me that pullback, give me that entry, and I will be very happy. The final chart I want to show you is CMT. The reason I want to show it to you is that we've got a combination coming together. We've got a higher low, a higher high, pulling back in, bullish candle in the cradle zone. Now, if I was to trade this as a daily cradle trade, my entry would be here, my stop loss would be here. Good convergence too. The 2 day as well, beautiful. The 2 days got a small bullish candle in that zone. My issue is that the stop's got to be pretty wide. So I squirreled down to the lower time frames, and I found 2 tests of resistance and a nice consolidation. If I can get a third test up here and the candle's got to close, I'll take this, or I'll raise this order to break the high of the resistance with a stop loss underneath the most recent higher low, which currently is here. Good convergence ticking over there on that 4 hour. It's my favorite chart today. I do have quite a large watch list, as you can see, which I put together every day in live trading floor with my members there, but you can see here it's evolving. I've got to wait for that. I've got to be patient. It might take a few days, but that's cool. I am here waiting and willing for that. So guys, that's the run through I wanted to take you for. What I also want to tell you about is what we are doing for Women's Day. Today we're actually going to be doing a Women's Week, and what we're going to be doing is a lot of interviews with women in the space. I suggest strongly that you follow me on YouTube, Twitter, everywhere I'm at, Facebook, but also on the TraderCobb Crypto podcast. To find out more about that, the socials is where it's going to be at. I've managed to interview some pretty special women from the World Economic Forum. I've also managed to get a hold of Kavita Gupta in the past, who's one of the co-founders of the Consensus Fund with Joe Lubin, or Lubin, however you want to say that. It's going to be a jam-packed week of women in the space, and we want more women into the space. If you know someone who's keen to get involved, get into the trading, get into this space, we're also doing a week of basically a discount. It's 30% off any of our products, not just for women, all right? So men and women alike. But we just want to see more people get involved. We've been saying this for a long time now. We're championing the cause. There's no reason why we shouldn't have more females in here. So let's try and get them. The more men and women that are in the space, the more volatility, the more market cap, the more the prices will move, and the more equality, which is really what we want. We don't need men building more. We want men and women working collaboratively to come up with solutions of the future and help to shape and mold our world. Question: you offer trade alerts and setups for member subscribers. Mate, you're best off going across to TraderCobb.com, where as well you can find that banner. It'll be on the website there. Look, I'm looking to empower people, so I teach them strategy, and then I point them in the right direction. I don't do trade tips. It's not a signal service. Now, I will point out trades, like for example, on the Binance trades, I showed what I was doing, but I said, look, there's a Bitcoin breakout trade here. Those that have done the courses know what they are. They've got a literal written checklist. Same with the cradle, same with the booster. So this trade was pointed out to those subscribers, as was this one back here. And we've done very well so far this year in what has been a relatively quiet start to 2019 trading-wise. I've got to be honest. There's been a lot of chop out there. So yeah, jump on to TraderCobb.com. You'll see where the code is for this discount of 30% for Women's Week here at TraderCobb. I hope that you are able to bring more women into the space, whether it's through the courses. I don't really care. If they want to learn to trade, let me help them. If not, just start to bring them in. Let them know what the space is. Let's be kind to them in the groups. Let's be more inclusive. It's really important. And you know what? If you want to be selfish about it, it helps you too. Because more people in here means more market cap, more movement, more momentum, and more money in your back pocket. So you really have no reason not to get involved. Guys, that's my run through the top 10 in the dollar and Bitcoin, and a bit about my watch list and a few little bits and bobs and lessons and whatnot. Jump across at TraderCobb.com to get your discount. And if you haven't already, guys, there's also a bunch of stuff on that website where you can have free access to some webinars and courses. I suggest that you do that if you're relatively new to the way that I trade. I'll see if there's any more questions. It doesn't look like it. Thank you very much for your time today. Happy Women's Day, and have yourself a great weekend. Thanks, guys. I shall do this again very soon, and bye for now.